Guys, you realize the same thing is true with us. We've got to get a hold of that reality. You know what happens here is this. Hebrews chapter 3, verse 13 says the deceitfulness of sin, it hardens our heart to God. We don't want that. We don't want to have a hardened heart to God. So what we have to realize is that we're not going to go this direction, and we're not going to believe this. You know, Galatians chapter 6, verses 7 and 8 says, do not be deceived. God is not mocked. Whatsoever a person sows, that he will also reap. Guys, we have to understand is that there is a reality here, and that God really does see and he does understand. And here's why that becomes important. You know, it would be easy to sit here at the bridge, and as you're going along, I promise you will hear things like, ooh, that's a little uncomfortable. And it would be easy to just... And what you do is you hit that sound machine because you're like, you know what, I never liked this David McAllister anyway. And somebody with hair like that can't have wisdom, you know? So it could be all those things you're thinking about. Okay, shoot the messenger through this process. But what happens is we hear something that God has clearly said in the Bible, and we hit this. Can you imagine what it would be like if the people sitting around us, all right, so this is happening through all the audience at both locations, that every time you hit the sound machine, everybody around you hears you do it? Do you realize that means everybody there goes, okay, I know what you're doing right now. Everybody knows because he doesn't want to hear that. She doesn't want to hear that. I know what's going on. We'd be horrified. Guys, God hears that. He knows our heart. Numbers 32:23 says, be sure your sin will find you out. So guys, listen, don't ever buy the delusion that Cain had that somehow you're going to get away with it. The reality is God loves us too much for that. So let's come back full circle. Remember, there were two guys here. Abel decided he wanted to do the right thing, and he wanted to have God looking at him going, I'm proud of you. That's my boy. Guys, let's be God's guy, God's girl. Let's make that the priority of what we do. And when we do blow it, all those principles that we've looked at enable us to be able to have success. Let's make sure that we do that in our relationships.